Okay, so this next thing I'm going to check out is a video where it talks about, or it's like an interview. I think that this was done for, or was going to be done for some sort of collection of Halloween movies. I can't remember if it was Criterion Collection or if it was, I can't remember. It was supposed to be for some sort of special feature on either collection of Halloween movies or a specific Halloween movie. That doesn't matter. But basically, this is a thing that they do with Tommy Lee Wallace, and where he explains the process by which he created this mask. Now, I know already the superficial story, or just like the basic story of how they did it. Like they had tried all these different masks before and nothing really worked right. I think they even tried a clown mask. They didn't really have a huge amount of money to spend on it, but they wanted to create something that was really memorable, right? Very impactful, scary. And so they spent, I think, like $2 or something on a William Shatner mask at some store. And they took it and they smashed out the features. They made the eye holes bigger. They spray painted it white, and they tucked, pulled the hair out and made it all crazy looking, like Michael Myers has a bad hair day every day. But I have never seen or heard the specific steps that they used as far as how involved it really ended up being. So I'm very curious to check this out. I'm going to go ahead and jump into it now. You guys may have already seen this, but I haven't, so I'm very curious. Oh, the font. Rebuilding the shape.
An old buddy of mine came up with a Kirk mask. We all know what that is. That he'd like to convert into a shape mask done just the way it was done back in the day, before Halloween, in pre-production of the original Halloween. And I agreed to do that. And I have it here today. My man's name is Colby. Shout out to Colby. This is Colby's mask. Today we're going to do the conversion.
Who else to do the conversion on a Shatner mask than the guy who did it for the film?
Right.
Tommy. It's a nice Kirk replica, and it'll be interesting to see the process of exactly how Tommy converted it back in the day. This has been something that's been kind of going around for years, and probably your most asked question at conventions, right?
It was a very simple matter of taking an existing mask and modifying it in a couple of ways and painting it and changing the hair color. But that's all there was to that.
Change the hair color too. Okay.
And a good thing came out of it, because none of us were prepared for the effect when this, I'm sorry, innocuous mask,
right,
innocent looking mask.
Well, I mean, there's nothing to be sorry about. I mean, maybe he feels like saying that it's innocuous looking is possibly some sort of jab at William Shatner, but I don't think so. I get what he's saying. When I look at this mask, it doesn't have the effect on me at all that the Michael Myers version of that does. It's very, very creepy, it's just chilling to me. Okay, let's go back a little bit.
Got just those few touches done to it. As we all know, the effect, before we even got to a story, the effect was damn scary. It was an unbelievably terrifying, visceral effect. And we knew we were in business, that we were going to have a scary movie, even before we got to a scary story. As I recall, I did the hair first and probably didn't use much in the way of masking. That is, in fact, streaks and tips.
I didn't realize that they had
trying to bunch up,
colored the hair.
You see little patches in there where the blonde is still happening. Actually,
so he darkened the hair.
Seems to add to the depth of it. So we're in the ballpark now, and we'll do a little more touching up when we're all done. Next, peel off these sideburns, peel off the eyebrows. This stuff is stuck on with some quality glue.
That should help it come off.
Back in the day, when this all came off, I was moving at the speed of light I imagine I did the whole process from start to finish in about half an hour.
Oh, wow.
Or 45 minutes tops. It's starting to get shape-like on us.
Wow.
The minute those sideburns go away,
It's
you start to
impressive, you
see them.
guys.
Okay, on to eyebrow time.
We just soak those bad boys.
Why not? Now we're down to a couple of eye holes. They're rather crudely done. They don't look like factory work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They look like hand-done eye holes. Anyway, that's starting to look like that might be about the right size. Cut the main line out with scissors, and
this
then
is fascinating,
any meaningful trims I did with an X-Acto knife. Kids, always make sure your hands are as clean as mine when you work with a delicate project like this.
Right.
There wasn't much shaping there. It was just almond shaped, football shaped. I hope I don't disappoint anyone when they find out I know almost nothing about mask making. Aww. Remember, on Halloween, everyone on the show was doing.
Yeah, I heard that because I've listened to behind the scenes commentary on my DVDs because I have multiple versions of this. They were talking about how it was so bare bones, and I think I mentioned this in one of my other videos, that they could only afford to hire Donald Pleasance for 4 days because he was the most expensive item that they had to spend their money on. And they filmed this in California. You guys who know, this might be nothing new to most of you guys, but if you're not familiar with Halloween, this is just a little bit of behind the scenes trivia. So they filmed this in California. And it was in the middle of the summer or spring or something like that. But the story is supposed to take place in the fall. But it didn't look like fall where they were. So they had to take a bunch of leaves. I don't remember if they had to spray paint the leaves to make them look like they were fall colors, or if they had to, or if they just had no, I think they might have had to paint them. Anyway, whatever. They had a bunch of leaves. And they would go, for the scenes, they would go and like scatter them around and toss them, to make it look like leaves were falling because it's fall. And then when they were done with the scene and they were ready to move on to whatever they had to move on to next, they would run around and they would collect up all the leaves that they had been throwing around for the scene, put them back in the bag, take them to the next thing they had to do. I mean, even Jamie Lee Curtis was involved in this. That was her first movie. So she was doing all this behind the scenes stuff too, because they all had to do a bunch of stuff, even the actors. And so it's just kind of funny to me imagining that whole, but I mean, what they put together was just amazing. It's just amazing. But yeah, that's basically what he's talking about here. Let's see.
Everyone on the show was doing 10 jobs. Yeah. I didn't really know precisely the parameters of a production designer's job. So I was surprised later to learn that most production designers don't also go out and find every location and, do the masks and do the costumes and do the cars and all the other things that seemed necessary just to get the job
it's already
done.
Starting to look like good. Michael.
It's starting to get that scare power that I like. Thanks to a little magic from Sean, he sanded down a few little bumps in the eye holes there. All right, comes next, a little bit of masking. Let's put a shower cap on the dude. The original was Krylon Appliance White. Krylon makes their appliance white hard to find.
Funny he remembers that.
So I went to Ace for their appliance white, and turns out, guess who makes Ace Appliance White?
Tommy company.
Bing, and they're off. We had 4 weeks to shoot, and it had to last that long. We weren't thinking a minute past that. Certainly weren't thinking of the phenomenon that has grown up over this guy. I think we're going to have to pull a few hairs, trim that up. But if you're doing this with lighting, rather than trying to build shadows in, then it's an advantage to have it be a consistent all white, because then the lighting is doing that.
Right.
Let's see, just a couple of little details I'd like to round around that hairline a little bit. Oh, look, that softened that up really nicely. Boy, it certainly has taken me back. This stark white is a look you just don't see at these festivals. You just don't see it. And yet it was how we made the movie. Now I do think I will put a very slight little matte finish just to knock
So
the
it's not so shiny.
slight shininess on. That's fair game because that's certainly what Dean and his crew did on several occasions once they got started. Just a little bit. Just knock a few of those highlights off. All right, we'll primp and fuss and mess, but essentially we're there.
Oh, it's still not ready. Oh, mask tests. Oh, Halloween H2O. Oh, this is fascinating, you guys. So it's okay. This was made in 2014. So it's my understanding that they also took the facial features and they kind of smashed it out, flattened it a little bit with a hammer or whatever. But I'm pretty sure that's what I heard, unless whoever said that was mistaken or I heard wrong, which is entirely possible. But anyway, I'm curious to watch some of this other stuff, you guys. I think I'm going to put this in my to watch list, maybe for just later, just for whatever. I don't know if I'll watch it for the channel, but anyway, well, this was fun. I found this really, really interesting to watch. And so now I'm going to move on to a Halloween fan film because that is the theme for this week. So later, guys.